What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Donovan, and I have some awesome news for you today. Even though we have not seen any Planet Coaster content on this channel thus far, starting tomorrow is the release date of Planet Coaster 2, and there will be so much coming to the channel. So I wanted to make this video before the release of the official game. That we got this yesterday, and it kind of has come through the community through the grapevines, and I figured I'd share it with you so you have a little bit of a idea what's going on. So if you have no idea up to this point, what it looks like is a lot of the content creators have gotten the game, and they've noticed some things that are going on with the game that they absolutely feel like should have been ironed out. You know, even though there's a lot going on. And all right, so what's going on? Well, there's a bunch of creators that got the game early that have figured out or have come across some things that are just not there, or some things that are head scratchers in the game that is about to come out. So they've expressed their feedback with the community and with Frontier, and a lot of things have kind of up to this point really have been unknown. Like, is Frontier going to fix it? Is it going to come up day one? Is it going to be a future update? Are we ever going to see it? There were some signs that pointed we don't know. So there's a lot of things that they ironed out through Planet Coaster 1, through its updates and throughout the years, that aren't in the game going into Planet Coaster 2, and that's kind of a head scratcher. And then Planet Zoo got some things that at launch or by the end that we thought were great, and it's not in Planet Coaster 2. So everybody's kind of like, well, if they were in Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Coaster 2 and they were things that we liked, why aren't we seeing them in Planet Coaster 2? So this post that came out yesterday, you can see at 5:35 p.m., kind of hints not at everything that has been going on, but it hints that they're listening, and that's to me, that's amazing. That's something that we want to see and we want to hear. Even if it's not right away, even if it's not in the patch tomorrow, if there is an update tomorrow before launch, we know it's coming. So a few things to take away from this, and I'll go over it. That, like I said, though it doesn't say everything that we would probably like to hear, it has some hints to some big things that, especially myself, I know some other creators are looking forward to. So let's get into it. So it says, "Hey, park managers, as we head towards launch, we've seen a few more frequent asked questions that we'd like to respond to. So the first one is, does the guest cap also apply to PC? What affects it, and why is it there? If it is on PC as well, will it be removed from PC in the future update?" So what that's referring to is, in Planet Coaster 1, for the life of me, I cannot remember the cap on the guest in the park. So in Planet Coaster 1, it launched just PC base, not console base, and you could really put that park to its limits and put 20,000 guests in there if you would like to. So what they've found in early playing is there's a 6,000 guest limit in Planet Coaster 2. And my guess is for performance plus console. So this is a multi console launch game, so it's going to be on console plus PC. So they're probably throttling the guest for the best user experience, because when you start building a park, you know, small, big, there's going to be a lot of piece count, and piece count being the amount of pieces that you use to build the park. You know, you can get up to, you know, easily tens of thousands of pieces. So when you start putting 10, 20, 30,000 guests into your park, it's really going to throttle your game experience. So I think that's why they're saying 6,000 for now. Um, and what it says is their answer is, we have set a guest cap of 6,000 guests to create the best experience in terms of performance for our players at launch. We'll be continue to analyze and evaluate player hardware feedback regarding this topic post launch. So it's something that they're going to take a look at. It's something that they can adjust in the future if they see that 6,000 guests is not affecting the the experience of the game where for everybody. I think they'll, you know, look into raising that. If it does, they're going to keep it at 6,000. And to me, 6,000 guests, it really doesn't matter. You know, as long as there's some kinetic energy in the park, it doesn't matter if there's 1,000 or, you know, 20,000 guests. I plan on building a really big park, so you know, 6,000 guests is fine as long as people are getting on rides. I really don't mind. So to me, that it's not a really big deal, but to some people it is. So the next thing they mentioned here is, what's the Frontier Workshop? You're more than welcome to come check this video out. I'm not going to play it. This is Frontier Forums. And if you go under the Planet Coaster forum, this is the news article from there. But we kind of know a little bit about the Frontier Workshop. But something that is pretty cool is, if you're familiar with Planet Coaster 1 or Planet Zoo, it was a Steam workshop based blueprint. So you would have to upload it to Steam, and then you could go on the Steam Workshop and find it from there. Planet Coaster 2 has its own Frontier Workshop, where you can go and get everything. So it's all very, you can send it up to the Frontier Workshop. It doesn't matter if your buddy has a PC or a console. They can you can get that blueprint from either or, and that's super cool. So looks like you can upload a blueprint, and if you make an update that day or immediately after you upload it, it will update that blueprint and send that out to your followers or the people who downloaded that, or a notification at least. So that's something that's super cool. And then this is where it kind of gets exciting for me, and I think some of the other people that have pointed this out. So it says, are custom music sounds billboards in the game? Will they be added? So something that I've noticed in all the creators that I've watched, and they've looked for custom billboards. If you're not familiar, in Planet Coaster 1 and Zoo, there was an option for to upload a custom image into the game, so it has a lot more realism. You can have a custom park, custom signs throughout the whole thing. It was super cool. Like, I've seen people do park maps where you are here. You can do the logo, as well as custom music and sounds. So there's people that build these parks and actually go out and get custom music and scores for their parks, and you can upload them to the track. And I think that's super cool. Well, in the past you could do that, but in Planet Coaster 2 it didn't seem to be an option, and this confirms that it wasn't an option. And then so everybody was head scratching. And I've seen a couple people mention that this was something they were really looking forward to, and they went out and made their own scores and their own music to upload to their park, and it was an option, and they were super confused and upset. But this confirms here that you're uh, you're in a future update. Planet Coaster 2 is all about creativity, and we will always consider new ways to bring your theme park to life. We will be introducing these features in a future update. So it doesn't give us a timetable. Actually, none of these do. It could be tomorrow or it could be a year from now. We have no idea. But Frontier saying that don't worry, music, sound, and billboards will be coming to the game. So that's super cool because the park that I am planning on building is going to be fall into that category. I want custom billboards. I don't know about custom sound, but definitely custom billboards for me is going to be something that's going to be well added. This is probably, to me, the biggest update or biggest thing that they touched on in this article. Will load unload stations be added? So if you're not aware, we get in Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Coaster 2, there has not been a alternative option to your load station. And it's kind of frustrating because it feels like the game or Frontier is trying to take on a certain type of realism. In a way, it's mixed between realism and fantasy, I guess. But there is a lot of realism in the game, and the with the park manage options that it shows that it can have with um, how you have to uh, control everything. It would in real life. More coasters are coming out every year that have different options for load and unload options for a station, or different types of stations. And in Planet Coaster 2, it's literally the same stations as Planet Coaster 1, and it's kind of frustrating because they're first of all they're huge. There's some coasters that have only one car that it still takes up a regular size station, and it doesn't adjust to the car or the style that it's going to, and it's just not realistic. It's almost like a vanilla box that they kind of conformed around and really didn't put too much thought into it. And then there's some stations that are on Omni Mover style station that is continuous load, and that's nowhere to be seen. There's just a few things, and then when it comes to load on loan stations, so a few coasters that come to mind are uh, Velocicoaster and the Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. The When that train pulls up, it's empty because there's a separate unload station further back on the track that you get off, and I think it would help out your park management, your load times, your everything like that. It'd just be a little cooler, a little bit more realistic, something that you can work into the game. But their response is coasters and rides are at the heart of Planet Coaster 2. We will be introducing load and unload stations in a future update. That's great. Nothing to be said about different styles if they're going to be changing, but I'm going to be super optimistic on this and not look too much into things. But if they're going to add a load and unload station, I would hope they would just redesign the stations all completely together. But that's just me being hopeful. Something that I noticed in some of my, I forget whose gameplay, but when they laid out, it was the bus track, I believe. It's the kind of the bus ride. There is a load and unload station there. It's completely doable in the game, and they just didn't add it for coasters. And then if you look at the pre-order bonus with the FD Vision, That should be an Omni mover, because in real life the FD Vision is based on a Omni mover ride, and it has a kind of like a walking escalator besides it, and it just continuously moves, and the carts continuously move. So that'd be really nice to see if they could bring that into it. The next thing is, will rides with built-in decor have vanilla versions too? So this is referring to them saying that we want you to be super creative. Um, everything that was in Planet Coaster One, not everything, but a lot of, especially the flat rides, were super, super highly detailed, and it was hard to fit in the parks, especially if you're building something that is just, if you're building something that's generic. If you're just trying to build a regular amusement park, everything was super themed, over themed actually. And in Planet Coaster 2, they're giving us the option to theme it ourselves and put the assets or the scenery onto the rides, and that's great. We can do whatever we want. We can fit it into wherever we want. But there are still some things in there that can't be um, changed or are more themed than not. And the answer was yes, creativity is at its core of Planet Coaster 2. And the ability to attach scenery to rides is something which we're very proud of, allowing park managers to create unique rides. We are always considering new ways to expand the creativity, and will continue to introduce further creative options, including additional neutral coaster cars and future updates. So to me, that's saying, hey, we're not done yet. We're going to be continue updating the game and adding more vanilla options. You're going to be getting more freedom in the future. Things are going to be changing. More cars are going to be an option. So it sounds like maybe you could switch the cars when you switch the ride or whatever it may be. So that's super cool. I love that update as well. And then we'll Planet Coaster 2 be playable on Steam Deck, and yes, it will be. So there's a video for that. But I think that's great, because a lot of times you get into these games and these companies just don't give you any information, and there'll be an update and it'll drop in the update. So I love that they're listening to the community, and I'm here for it. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the future of Planet Coaster 2, and can't wait to see where this game can go and everybody what they can build. I'm just over the moon for that. I'm very excited to get my hands on the game and start playing tomorrow. So look forward a upload for that. I haven't decided if we're just going to try to get in there and figure out the game first, or if we're just going to go for it and start building our park. I do have a park in mind that I want to build. It's a very realistic amusement park that is going to be very big, lots of budget. It's going to be called Great American Adventure. I've already got some plans for it. I'm very excited to show that all to you, and see where we can take that. But I think this is a very good start, and I'm excited to see kind of what happens tomorrow with the drop of it, and kind of what all the YouTubers and everybody can create in the community. Frontier has an amazing community. So if you want to see some Planet Coaster 2 content in the future, definitely think about subscribing. It would really appreciate it. It would help out the channel a lot, and it would let you know when new stuff comes out. And I plan on putting a couple videos out a week, at least definitely in the start. And yeah, I can't wait to show you what we got. Well, guys, that's it for today with some Planet Coaster 2 news. Some really awesome news going forward. And can't wait to see you tomorrow. Let's do it. All right, guys. Have a good one, and I will catch you on the flip side. Cheers.